What up, y'all? Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Being brought to you in part by Bud's Chicken and Seafood.
I talked to Philip yesterday. He wanted me to talk with you guys because we've got our beach cleanup on Saturday.
Yep.
He wanted to offer food and all kinds of great stuff for everyone that's volunteering.
Dang.
Are you guys still down with this?
I love it.
Yes.
Be awesome.
Now, when we leave the beach cleanup, we would go to that Bud's right there on North Lake, right?
I believe so. That's how he wanted to do it. But I
Yeah.
said I would talk it over with you guys to kind of fine-tooth everything.
I think it's a
Fine-tooth
great
it?
idea.
Fine-tune it. Fine-tune. What? Thank you.
Tune.
Yeah.
Fine-tooth it is the new term.
Yeah, probably the best plan is to head over there, just get a pack of people together and beeline over there to the Buds. And
It's
just
the after party.
I love it.
Yeah, after party Buds. After the beach cleanup on Saturday.
We're going to have a bird sauce party. You can pour bird sauce on me, and then you can just dip it with your chicken tenders.
Oh, that sounds repulsive.
Yeah.
You ever seen like those hot, like when they have like those sushi parties and they lay out like a hot model? They put sushi on her. We just lay out Jason and pour bird sauce on him.
We should do that
Be
with
new advertising for them.
We could do that with tenders and clam. We could do it with the crab cakes.
Yep.
We can make my entire body the table.
Great idea.
If you're listening, I'm sure
Yeah.
Philip is writing all this down.
I better trim.
Got an email about Buds from Kentucky John. He said, "All right, motherfuckers. I've been waiting for you to mention the best item on Bud's menu, but to no avail. I grew up on Bud's, and my father turned me onto the Bud's fish sandwich with cheese. Holy shit, incredible. I'd kill for one right now. And the pulled pork ain't no slouch neither."
I'll tell you
Wow.
what, Kentucky John, if you make it back down here to South Florida, we're going to have a Bud Chicken and Seafood party, and it's on the bird.
And while you're at it, ask Twinkle Toes if he remembers the Sub King that used to be on the corner of Laurel Avenue and A1A in Lake Park. Best subs ever.
Twinkle Toes, it does remember Sub King. It was legendary in Lake Park.
It was, huh?
Yeah, they had hoagies there, and my mom and Ann, they loved them. They had Sub
Hoagies,
King,
yeah.
and right down the street was Blizzards and Burgers, and this guy would always go, "We got one queen dog, one queen chi." He'd always do this big, loud kind of ordering thing, which was
Okay,
kind of
yeah.
their signature.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I love places that have a signature.
Signature's
Great.
thing. You know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean.
does. It adds to it, doesn't it?
It does.
Good stuff. Got a couple comments on the non-protest or the non-political protest on Sunday. It's probably our last chance where you're going to have people that are going to be lining Southern Boulevard. I think I would imagine the next time that President Trump is in town that they'll have that helipad built for him at Mar-a-Lago, and so he'll just fly over everybody. Be like, "Hey, suckers!"
He's got plenty of room. There's a huge
Yeah.
lawn at
Right.
Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Massive.
That's where they'll
He's
put
got
it in.
money and he's got lawn. I don't think it's going to take long to make this thing happen.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, when I heard that, they have not mentioned in any of the articles I've seen the ETA and when it'll be done, but I'm like, it's a slab of concrete with some, lights around
It
it.
could be done now.
Probably.
It's probably already done.
In fact, we'll probably put this whole thing together as he goes flying right over. It's like, damn it.
Does he pay for that, or does who pays for that? Does
That
he?
probably would be federal funds. Yeah. I think, and I don't know. I know there have been some comments where he's like, I'm going to pay for this, I'm going to pay for that. So I don't know who's paying for what. I don't even know. It's not even something I even care to wallow into. But I do know this. Lucas, trying to get a feel for the signs for Sunday's protest. Let me add this. It's got to be non-political to be a part of our group.
Yeah.
If it's political, you're not going to be a part of us. You can go join everybody else that's going to be political. So that's it. And the other thing, too, he's like, how goofy are we allowed to get? He has a sign he wants to say. Mine says, end premature ejaculation. I would say two things, non-political and non-sexual.
Yeah, let's not do. Let's stick with the stuff we're talking about on
Yeah.
the air, so we're all kind of
Yeah.
got a unified
Yeah.
message going on.
Yeah.
Leave your semen out of my protest.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, because that's
It's kind of hard to defend public
Yeah.
semen.
No.
Yeah, we're not going that route.
But
so,
I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't want to put
tear
a lot
him
of
down.
parameters on this. Exactly. He's asking, and
love
now
the
we know
heart.
non-political, non-sexual. So we want to keep it so that if a kid is watching the TV news, he could just be like, oh, I like that,
talking about-
tax-free tacos.
Talk about
or-
lowering pizza prices.
Yeah.
And tax-free tacos.
Right.
and-
PG, please, on the signs. Yeah, we don't want the dirty, filthy ones. Got an email here from Bud Parker. He said, the protest you guys are planning for this weekend looks like fun for you, But there are a lot of important issues the real protesters are trying to address with the president. Your little quote-unquote fun protest will trivialize the real issues of the day. Please rethink your protest.
Well, I knew this was going to happen. That
Sure.
was the one thing I said. You're going to get someone that's like, well, there's real issues.
Now, ours will be a slight blip, if anything. At best, you'll see one of our signs in the mix of everything else that is going to be going on. If anything, we will be a footnote to the true protests that are going on and the continued angry coverage about politics in America. So don't worry if you're worried that we are going to somehow wash that away for a day. It ain't going to happen.
Does that person really think that we're really going to detract?
We'll be lucky if we get a sign on TV. In
Come
fact,
on.
it's a major victory if one of our goofy signs makes it on any TV station anywhere. That's all we're going to have. So, Bud, I can tell you, don't worry. We're not going to sidetrack any important issues happening in this country. We will not bring down America with this fun little excursion we're going on.
And by the way, just to answer back to that email, I actually really do care about lowering the price of pizza.
He
That's
does.
kind of a big deal.
It's legit.
I had a list yesterday, Virginia, of all the prices of pizzas here locally. We're talking $18 for a large, $19 for. There was one place $19 for a medium pizza. It's too much money. It's too much money.
I agree. And you're right. What is an important issue for one is not always an important issue for all. You can't sit there and rank for America the important issues.
There's also a thing called levity and trying to make things a little bit more
Absolutely.
peaceful, and that's kind of our goal on this.
If anything, in my head, I just want to ask the question, can you somehow add levity into this current political climate? Can it be done? And I might get my ass kicked, and my answer would be like, nope, can't do it.
I tried. Failed. Done.
I don't think it was going to beat your ass for trying to
I
lower
don't know,
pizza.
but at least I'll have the answer. Because in my own mind, I think we always have our own motives for this. And for me, I'm like going, hey, can we have a little bit of fun for once with what's going on? Because people are having a hard time just being like, okay, all right, it's goofy, it's fun. We're Americans. Deep down, we all care about the price of pizza. We know that.
Everybody does.
Of course. I know I do. So that's my hot button issue. A lot of people commenting, too, about Virginia. You actually went to the bathroom. You lost sudden death today. And for sudden death, you can't use any indoor toilets.
Right.
All of your peeing and pooping has got to be done outside somewhere. And you finally went pee and you went outside.
I did. I went to your house.
Okay, that's
No,
fine.
Just kidding.
And don't worry, there's a lot of people pissing out front of my house.
We scouted it out. I got to tell
Yeah.
you, she nailed it. She did number one.
Yeah.
There's a video that's about to come out.
He
Yeah.
got real close.
Of course he did. He
Oh,
always does.
I'm sorry that I take pride in my art.
I'm like, Bird, back
right.
up a little bit.
My bad.
I'm going to splash you.
Look,
He got right up
He
in it.
got so close.
I only know one mode.
He's like, what? It's for the video.
Where did you wind up going?
we had to drive off site, like in the back.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
like maybe 2 minutes from here, but there's
Yeah.
like a little wooded area with some dumpsters and.
Yeah, but the point is, and it kind of really zeroes in on the conversation. For a good 2 minutes, Jaber and I were debating as to, I'm like going, dude, it would be so impossible to try to only go to the bathroom outside in South Florida. And he's like, it would be better than
Okay, first of all, and second of all, I agree. We had a debate.
We got to it.
And
And
then
finally, I think you saw the
You
light.
turned me.
You start, yeah.
You were influential with your speaking. I think that's what we need in this country.
Yes. So to me, it'd be kind of fascinating. Yeah, just how inconvenient would it be? Because we were talking about what's the most underrated invention. And maybe we need to really... and we were talking about the time, remember when we all went down after the hurricanes 2004, we went down to Fort Lauderdale, we went to Lauderdale by the Sea, and they had their
Yes.
power on.
They had power. We had none, but we're just like 30 minutes away.
I know we walked into that place and had the AC, and I was like, oh, and TV was on. I was like, oh, shiny box. And I remember I had like ice in my glass. I was just like,
I remember
it's
that.
So it made such an impression on me. I almost started weeping. I was like,
I noticed.
totally take it for granted.
Did you wipe?
Here's the problem.
I knew it.
The answer's no.
I didn't think I saw a wipe.
Well, I was so nervous and trying to figure out where we were going to go. I forgot to grab a tissue.
She's air drying.
I just, kind
You shake the dew off that lily.
of shook that thing a little bit.
You can never shake all the dew off.
I mean, no, I definitely did not shake it all off.
Okay,
Trust me,
did your best.
I lived and learned. I will be bringing a tissue next time.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. Shake the dew off the lily. I love that.
It's for ladies. So anyway, some comments on that. Got another email here from Rodney. Said, Hey, I just want to remind you that indoor plumbing also includes running water. If you don't have indoor plumbing, you don't have running water. Yeah, I think to clarify, and I kind of start off with the indoor plumbing, but so people go, then you can't shower and this and that. But it's really just to zero into what we were talking about.
They smell blood. They want the whole thing.
We're talking about
no bath for her.
The luxury of indoor toilets.
You can't wash yourself ever.
I went broad in scope when I mentioned that, but yes, indoor toilets, I guess, should have been what it is.
You can't wipe your lily pad. No.
A lily pad.
This about Max's girlfriend. Max, we got a hold of him. It was on Friday. He kept going on a date with this chick, and then one of her friends was always there. And he's like, what's going on? What do I got to do? And Jaybird's like, okay, text her and kind of like man up and say, hey, look, you and me just going out on a date. And so she texts him back over the weekend. It's like, hey, come to this house party with me. So again, it's a group thing. And then he gets there, and her friends are trash, and he winds up driving him home. They all pass out, and then he leaves. So he's still, is he in the friend zone or not? Michelle said, hey there, guys. I was actually listening to the show when Max called in about his mishap with his so-called girlfriend. I couldn't call him because my boss was right in front of me. Well, I never had a girlfriend like that, but I did have a friend who does the exact same thing that she does. At the time, I was the only friend that she had with a ride, so guess who she called to, quote, hang out with?
Yep.
It would always be something like, oh, we should go to this place for fun. Then by the time I went to go pick her up, her friends would already be there too. I caught on that she would make plans with friends, knowing that I might be a possibility of being her ride. And she would do that with other people, not just guys. But if it wasn't for her, I would never have met my girlfriend in 5 years. So even my girlfriend agrees that she is a douche. My advice to Max, no one deserves to be treated like a tool for others to use. No amount of titty pics is worth your dignity, and if she really liked you, she would let you touch them and not just send you pics. Just saying. That's the dividing line, yeah.
Yeah, she let you motorboat them things.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've ever been in that place where you were kind of almost being used?
Yes.
Yeah.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I think so too.
Yeah, I think we all have.
If you're in the dating world, it's gonna, unless you are Fabio or someone that's never been turned down, and that's not even that good of a reference. But if you're in the dating world, you're gonna have some horrible moments like that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, I started thinking about that as I was talking to Max. I'm like, it kind of flushed back to me. I'm like going, yeah, you know what? I had this girl, and I was always elusively chasing her, and she would do enough to dangle the carrot. So, man, I thought it was.
Oh yeah.
Just dangled it.
I remember mine, old sweet Jenna. Oh, she played. Oh, she just would dangle.
What do you think she was trying to use you for?
I think that she liked the fact, because she was going through a breakup with her boyfriend at the time, and I was new and I was shiny, and I wasn't new and shiny long enough, and she was like, all right, I'm over this, and I think she ended up going back with her guy. I think that
you were a change of pace.
I was a change of pace, and she was looking for a little fling.
Yeah.
And I was not.
Yeah.
And I think that's what ended up happening. And honestly, if I had to look back, I think she liked me, but she didn't like me enough.
Yeah.
Damn, fuck.
Deep.
Jenna broke a man.
Back in the day, that was,
yeah.
That was tough.
I had that one chick that when I first got into radio, and I think she, as I was talking to Max, it's like I was thinking it through in my head. I'm like going, that chick totally used you because I was on the radio. I had just started in radio. And I was with kind of like in my college town of Athens, Ohio. There was a hot top 40. And it was the only station to listen to. But we were it. And I think she was into that because I got perks with that. I had a cool apartment that was on the hot party street. It was like the top floor. We had a hot tub in there. We had all kinds of good stuff.
There's
skylights.
Definitely a type of girl that will, without a doubt, go out.
Did you ever hit it in that hot tub?
Here's the thing. We would have these conversations and always kind of like, what's going on? And we worked together too. We did landscaping. She was on one thing, and she would wear these outfits, Virginia, for the landscaping. Oh my gosh, she's this hot Cuban chick. Her family was all from Miami.
Slow it down.
This was my first Hispanic crush. This is when my eyes were open, and
I think you told me about this chick.
Yes, and I know her name, Michelle Perdomo, and I have no idea where she is. She's can't find her anywhere.
Really?
Don't know what it is, but
not on Facebook or anything.
Yeah, I had checked one time because I was kind of curious. I'm like, whatever became of that girl? She was my first Hispanic crush. It's when White Boy Kev growing up in southeastern Ohio where there was no Hispanic chicks whatsoever. It's like going, these Hispanic girls are something. It was like, it changed my tide. It was like I was open up to a whole new world. And it was because of this Michelle girl.
Yeah, she got
Cuban from Miami. Up there would wear the tightest, hot, smoking hot. Summertime thing. I started doing the radio thing. And she would do things. Like, I remember, like, whenever I took her to the radio station, because, of course, I'm playing it up. We did this thing. We played this game. Every time I went on the radio, she would come over and, like, blow in my ear, like, lick my neck, all this kind of shit.
You said blow, and I was like, holy.
Blow in my ear. Okay. Let me finish my sentences.
You're on the podcast, bro. You know how this goes. You know what we're thinking.
She's not leading me on if she's blowing me while I do a radio show. At that point, continue to lead me on.
She's marriage material.
Right. That's the one that got away.
There is a Michelle Perdomo in Miami. Could she have gone back to her roots?
I don't know.
Could she be a lawyer?
I don't know.
It's because I've been trying to find the girl I lost my virginity
and granted, I didn't spend a lot of time. It was just one time when I first discovered Facebook, and I was like going, I wonder if she's on here. I wonder if she's on there. I was like going, I wonder if Michelle's on here. But it was always that thing. In fact, I remember that summer she left. She came to Miami, and she was gone for like 3 weeks. Just broke my heart because we had this good groove. Things were going on. She come to my apartment, and I had the most the lighting. I was big into lighting, and I had this Natural Light beer sign, Virginia, that just cast the perfect hue.
I had a Bush beer sign.
Yes.
Those neon signs were amazing.
Oh, they were amazing. Yeah, and I have one of those. And
don't break them, though, because then you're done.
Yeah.
They have to have a special gas in there. You can't fix them.
Yeah, I know. And so I remember we had this one night, and she was just like leaning, and we like made out for a little while. And so I went a little bit further than Max did, but as I started thinking about it, I'm like going, no, because I was hooking her up with all the cool events. We were doing all the radio stuff. I think she was into that. I'm like, that chick totally did, I think, what Max is having done to him. And I'm like, yeah, I got played, man. I feel like I got played.
I'm not sure. I feel like a girl like that should be on Facebook. The girl that I lost my virginity to, I can't find her anywhere. She's not on Facebook, and I find that odd. Maybe we're not doing this right.
Probably not. We probably aren't. And then the final chapter with Michelle was she invited me over to her house one time and introduced me to her new boyfriend. And that's when I'm like,
shit. Oh my God.
And he was everything you would, he's that. I'm like, yeah, that's a guy that's in her league.
He's got like a barbed wire tat around his
It was almost before
body.
The barbed wire tat, but he would have had all that stuff going on. Yeah. He was that kind of guy.
He was good looking, probably had...
He was in her league. Yeah. I knew it. I was playing out of my league, so I always try.
Had that rad peen.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's all right, man. Hey, like I said, if you're in the dating world, shit like this is going to go down. It happens to everybody.
And she's not going to be the kind of girl that probably stays single, so her last name's going to change.
Oh, yeah. So you have no idea.
Some women don't use their maiden name on Facebook.
Yeah.
You're right. That's probably why we can't find these names, Kev.
Yeah.
And I think you have that curiosity. I mean, it is. I mean, it's not even just her, but I think that's why Facebook took off so fast is because there are people that we've had run-ins within life, and you just had that general curiosity.
Yeah.
There's so many people. I'm going, I wonder what they're doing today, and you just like to know. And it's like, obviously, I mean, Michelle could come running back to me, and I'm happily married. I'm fine. I'm taken. I'm good. It's not going to happen. I mean, that ship has sailed. But you're just like, whatever became of that girl.
I would like to know who took the girl that took my virginity. I want to know what she's up to.
Where'd she go? Yeah,
she went to Gardens. She was in this area,
I know, right?
And now she's gone. I can't find her anywhere.
I have a certain comfort of girls like that. The girl that I had my first with, I know where she is and what she's doing and all that kind of stuff. I'm happy for her, but it's like my girl. She's some kind of peace just knowing where they are and what they're doing with their life.
It's like she ran into the night and never came back.
We all have that curiosity. It's human nature. You always want to be able to fill in the gaps, and there's something about when you can't connect the dots or fill in that gap, then it will forever haunt you.
I'd like to fill the gaps.
Yeah. This one is for Virginia from a Jason. It says, Virginia, wouldn't you agree that women are just as shady as men? I know some of your on-air comments, and you always seem to go tougher on the guys, but in my experience, people are just shitty, period.
You know what? You do have a point. People can be very shitty. I'm speaking from my own jaded personal experiences in this thing we'd call life.
But he's right though. Humans
are shitty.
You're gonna meet unbelievable great men. You're gonna meet unbelievable great women. You're gonna meet shitty girls. You're gonna meet shitty guys. That's why I hate living in absolutes where girls don't like this. Most girls from 20 to 54 would hate. That's bullshit. Everybody's different.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. We all are. And also, could you say happy wife, happy life in your sexy British accent to mess with the bird.
Well, when you do it like that, I don't hate it as much.
Happy wife, happy life, J-Bird.
It does make it a little bit more easy to deal with.
Ashley sent an email about plot holes in movies. We were talking about that the other day. So I was listening to y'all's segment about plot holes in movies, and one that I always thought was ridiculous was in the movie Twister. The scene at the end when Bill Paxton, R.A.P., and Helen Hunt strap themselves to the deeply rooted pipes in the barn with leather straps and then get sucked into the eye of an F5 tornado, but somehow still survive with all limbs intact and maybe just a few scratches. Do you mean to tell me that aside from not being ripped in half by the tornado, they managed to not get hit by any flying debris or any one of the hatchets that was hanging from the ceiling of that barn? I'm calling BS on that one.
That's a great point.
Same thing always bothered me. I saw that. And in fact, maybe the second time I watched the movie, you could see them. And there's saws and all this kind of stuff, hatchets hanging on the side of the wall. I'm like, oh, come on. There's no way. In a barn, if you've ever been in a barn, there are the sharpest, most deadly objects in a barn. You could kill somebody 80 different ways by the things you can find in a barn.
You hybrid a barn and a teenage together? Come on. Ain't nobody walking out of that thing.
Mm-hmm. And more information about The Room, reportedly the worst movie ever made. And people love this movie because it's so awful.
The Room?
It's got a cult following because it's so bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
We brought it up just quickly in reference the other day, and apparently the guy at Creative Virginia is batshit crazy. He's really weird, and
he spent a shit ton of money promoting it, but it was not very good. So there was a lot of hype built around it, and when people saw it, they're like, "What the hell is this? It doesn't make any sense."
Yeah, he had a $6 million budget and spent $6,000 making it, $5 million promoting it. So
wow.
So people when they went to go see it, they thought, "What the hell is this shit?
What is this?"
It looks like it was shot on his iPhone.
There's different actors that are playing the same role.
Oh, really? Oh, that's ridiculous.
That's what Denny said.
Yeah, this one said, you guys are talking about the movie The Room on Tuesday's podcast. I just wanted to chime in with some info on it. Tommy Wiseau, the director and creator, is probably one of the weirdest dudes in the movie industry. Nobody really knows what country he's from, where he got his money, or why he is the way he is. A few weird facts about him. 1, he orders hot water whenever he goes to a restaurant. 2, he still has the site up for the movie, and on there you can call him directly, and he actually answers the phone.
I love this guy. I think this guy's a star.
3, he sells his own brand of Tommy Wiseau underwear. There's a commercial on YouTube for them. 4, he bought all the equipment for the movie rather than renting it because, quote, no one has ever done that before. 5, for most of the scenes in the movie, he made the prop team make cardboard and styrofoam sets rather than using real rooms and scenery because Tommy said, quote, this movie is big Hollywood production. So that is part of the reason why a majority of the sets in the movie look so fake and cheesy. There are tons of more weird things about him, which are all included in the book The Disaster Artist, which his producer and friend Greg Sestero wrote a while after the movie. I highly recommend it, especially the audiobook version. So let me.
That guy sounds.
From Bryce and the Pizzle.
That guy sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Got like someone that's different.
Got.
He seems too different, though.
Is there too different?
I'm trying to remember. I think I saw the commercials for that. The Room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember seeing commercials for it.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people kind of knew what it was all about. So there you go.
Marketing works.
It does. Another topic that we got into this week on the After the Show podcast, we're talking a little bit about talking to somebody. There was a married couple, and they have a 16-year-old son that they caught checking out some porn. The dad was thinking that the best thing to do is make sure that he understands there was a ban and that kind of stuff doesn't happen in this house. And the mom was like, well, let's, let him do what he's going to do and let him explore and just say, hey, we're always going to be here for any questions that you have. The dad was just like, I think that's one of those things you don't give a green light to a kid on. You got to do red light. I mean, they're probably going to do it, but there's a difference as a parent. You're realistic and you're saying, yeah, they're going to get into it. But if I almost condone it, then they're really going to go at
You
it.
can't sign off on the project.
Right.
You got to kind of pretend like nobody knows about it.
I think, and I think I'm the only one that heard it this way. I don't think she was like condoning it. I think her whole thing was don't make a huge deal out of it. I don't think she was saying promote it.
Yeah.
But she's also saying let's not like take away his computer. Let's not make the kid feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I think she's a little
The
misrepresented.
dad was talking about maybe a punishment or something like that. How
No.
should we let him know that we're serious about it? Was kind of his take, saying, look, you're not going to be doing this, and we're going to take your computer for a punishment. You'll get it back, but if you do it again, then you'll lose it forever kind of thing.
Yeah, that'll stop him.
This email says, hey, I'm writing in regard to porn exposure at an early age. Sadly, I was a curious girl way back when, and my godmother owns a motel that offered adult movies. And you can only guess the kind of classy clientele they had. Well, on Saturdays when my parents went to work, I had to go to my godmother's till they got off of work. Well, I knew about sex and stuff at 12 years old, and I knew some stuff that 12-year-olds should not know. It gave me an unreal expectation about sex, and to this day, I still act like porn in bed, and I'm not able to fully enjoy normal sex. My partner is great, and it's not him not being able to bring me to the next level, but it's my own mental state preventing me to reach that level. She can't hit the big O because she grew up, and it's like once you kind of like went to the porn level, she thought that real sex was like what you see in the porn. And so she couldn't do anything different. And now it's kind of mentally warped her to a place.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely different levels of porn you can watch. What kind of porn are you watching? Are you watching softcore? Are you watching really, extreme stuff? And with that too, she was 12 watching that. I mean, that's really young. I mean,
Yeah, and I
you
think
can
that's what
totally
she's
be
saying.
exposed to stuff.
In some of the interviews that I've seen with people that, had a porn addiction that got out of it, they said that, they would start younger, but they would start at a certain level. And then at a certain point, that doesn't excite you anymore. So then you go to tier 2. And then tier 2, you become desensitized to that, and you get to tier 3. And that was their stories. Not saying that happens that way with everybody, but some people that really wind up with a porn addiction, each level, it doesn't do it for them anymore. And so they have to keep going further and further and further until it's a real problem in their life.
All of a sudden, you're tossing off to giraffes now. You're like, oh my gosh, it's something that I got. It's like your different level.
Giraffe?
Wait, that's weird?
Exactly. You get numb, Virginia.
You do get numb.
Get numb in a lot of ways.
Yes, you do. This email is from Lynn, writing about Kevin's unfortunate sudden death and the question of how old people are and still actively doing the hibbity-dibbity. I think that's where I had to call my dad and ask him the last time he got busy. My father's been widowed twice. Both his wives succumbed to what started out as breast cancer. This past year, he decided to get back into the dating scene and met a lovely woman online. So he called my brother seeking advice. He wanted to have companionship and get married again, but how do you date someone and make sure that they will be sexually active? Of course, my brother cringed and tried not to laugh, but he said that, well, you just got to slip it into the conversation in the first or second date that you are physically active and seek intimacy in a relationship with the person you're going to marry.
That's a good, I want intimacy. I want physicality.
Mm-hmm. This conversation was shared with my brother over Thanksgiving while doing Fireball.
A lot comes out when you start pounding Fireball.
Oh, don't we know?
I got a brand new bottle at my crib, Mama. Just let me know.
I'm not down with it. That's kind of where it fell apart for me.
It's always Fireball or tequila it kind of.
I was doing so good at Mardi Gras until damn Fireball.
It does. It fucking turns you into a demon.
I gotta just drink beer. What's the matter with me?
No.
Why do I get to that point?
Everybody around you gets caught up, and I'm never the one who's gonna be, let's do some shots. I'm always the one that's caught up in the tornado.
Somebody buys you a shot,
Yeah.
and then you don't want to be that ingrate that says no to a free shot.
I mean, the person that's always promoting shots they're kind of annoying.
Yeah, I wonder who that is in this room.
I am shot guy.
You are.
We're doing shots, bitches.
Loves it. Got some questions here from Samantha for pretty much everybody on the show. Kevin, parenting question. So you are open that you drink, and you now have college kids. How do you address that topic? It's the whole, it's okay for me to drink, but I don't want you to drink thing. I also have a freshman in college, a little shocked that so much partying goes on. So far, no issues, but I'm a little surprised that kids are so open with it. In my day, it was maybe more hidden from our parents. Yeah, for me, honestly, the law is my friend, and that's my whole thing. Is with me and the kids, and they'd be like, "Well, you're drinking. Why can't I drink?" Well, you're not 21.
You're not 21. The
Yeah.
law says you have to be 21. When I went to college, it was 18, and so it was a totally different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Everybody at college was legal to drink, but it's not like that anymore. And so I don't know how these college campuses enforce it or don't enforce it or care or don't care. Like at Mardi Gras, one of my family members who's at college and 19 was drinking, and I didn't say anything. It's not my place. It's not my kid. But I was kind of thrown off a little bit by it because I'm like, okay, if a cop walks over here, they're not gonna. But if they do, what are we gonna say?
Yeah.
Well, what do you do? Here's what you're right, with the whole law thing, it gives you an easy escape or an easy out. What do you do when you find out, or if you find out, Colin or Caitlin, they're 21 and they are getting smashed? Colin's getting smashed. His grades are still up, but you're noticing he's tying a lot of alcohol into his life. Do you say something? He is an adult. You've been at that point in your life before. You've been smashed. What can you say as a dad?
Well, I can say, dude, I've gone down that path. I went to the number one party school in America when it was the number one party school in America, and
but
I grew up in it.
Do you come down on them, or do you just say, look?
I tell them, I'll be like, I've been through it. Let me tell you the ups and downs of it. Let me tell you how lucky I was that I escaped a lot of bad situations I put myself in, and it could have easily gone one way or the other, to the point where it could have drastically changed. And here's a couple examples, some friends that I knew. So I've gone through it, and it's not a judgmental thing. It's like, hey, I've lived through it. I've made some mistakes. I'm fortunate that I'm here and I don't have any blemishes from the wilder period that I went through. So if I'm here for anything else, it's for you to learn. I'm not saying I'm better than you or anything else. It's just I've been through it. So,
that's good. You're not coming from a place of judgment. You're coming from a place of advice and not like just wisdom. Look, I'm giving you some advice.
You're a smart kid. I don't have to tell you. I mean, you got to make your own decisions. You're an adult now. I mean, right now you're responsible for your own life. It's not mine. It's your life. And if you make the mistakes right now at your age,
Dad can't help you.
Dad can't help you. Yeah, I mean, you're really screwed. You could do something right now that you could wind up life in prison.
Because 21, 22, 20, like early 20s, that's a tough age.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to find yourself. Even all the way up to your mid 20s. I think you're still just kind of you're not a kid anymore, but you're not a seasoned adult either.
Yeah.
And I think you're trying to find who you are.
I think the biggest thing though that we all have to impress upon our kids, and I've already started with Magnolia, is there is never, ever to be any drinking and driving tolerated by anybody.
Yeah.
You don't get in a car with somebody. You don't allow your friends to get in the car with somebody. You would never do it yourself. Like, that has to really be established.
Yeah, my mom would throw guilt. I mean, every emotion that would try to get you not to do, guilt, fear, she would throw that at you. And I think it worked because, I mean, I'm very against drinking and driving.
Yeah, it has to be established.
Yeah. A couple of things that have happened with it, like, my son is on spring break right now, and he was hanging out. I came home the other day. And these are the situations, though, where you come up and this is the thing about parenting, it's tough. I always try to stop myself. I always try to remove emotion from my decisions, and I try to think things through logically on what I would do. But I came home the other day, and there were a bunch of kids from Michigan that were down with him.
Well, they all came to your house.
Yeah, they came down here. Well, there's
Florida.
There's a kid that is from Boca that goes to Michigan too, that my sons, ran into, and so they came down and they have a beach house in Boca, and so they were primarily staying there. But this was the spring break. The rest of the kids were from Michigan, legit.
Gotcha.
And so they're at my house. They were chilling. They'd gone to Guanabanas, and I walk in the house, and there was like a big bottle of Bacardi that was like sitting on the counter. And I saw it and I noticed it, and I kind of like looked at the kids. Everybody seemed fine. Everybody's sober. Nobody had a drink in their hand. I'm like, I don't know what it's all about. And so I'm like, all right, it doesn't look like there's anything you need to break up here or, mess with or whatever. So
there wasn't a rap video being filmed in your front yard?
No, there was nothing like that.
That'd have been awesome.
I saw that, and it could have been like, what's this? What are you guys doing? You guys drinking in here? What the fuck's going on? I could have and I didn't want to cause any problems, so I didn't do anything. I didn't mess around with it.
When you say that when you get emotional and then you don't react and you try to take emotion out of it, do you think some people are just not able to get, like when something happens and it's emotional to them, they just don't have the capability of being able to control that completely. That's just the way they are.
Oh, absolutely. No, I think that's the majority of people, and that's how I think I'm wired too. I think everybody's probably wired like that. That's where, to me, it's like you get in trouble, I've found a lot of times, when you talk with emotion. You know, logic is the better thing to say, hey, look, you need to think through. I try to hit the pause button, say, okay, I'm seeing a situation. My first instinct is like, fuck, man. I mean, honestly, because in a sense, as a parent, sometimes you feel like, okay, is this a move of disrespect? Are they trying to be like, they don't even respect it, like, yeah, screw it? Or are they're
not going to even try to hide it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so what is that level? And so you process all of these things. And then ultimately, when I went through it quickly, my son's not disrespectful. I don't have problems with him being disrespectful to me. The kids seemed fine. Nobody seemed hammered. There's a bottle of Bacardi was sitting on the counter. Who knows? I might have put it there and forgot. So, you know.
Whose is this? It's yours, Dad.
Dad, it's yours.
Hey,
right.
Dad, it's your Bacardi, dick.
Just check it. All right, good.
Just checking. I just want to make sure you little shitheads know you're not supposed to drink in my house.
That would be equally as awesome as the rap video in your yard.
It'd have been a different situation if they were in there and they had cups in their hand and they were drinking. I'd be like going, hey, guys, honestly, in Florida, it's 21 and I can't let you guys drink here. This isn't a place where I can do that legally.
The other thing, too, I think a lot in life is tone and how people are. If they were being dicks about it and disrespectful, you would have wanted to be a dick right back to them.
Yeah.
They were cool about whatever they were doing, and I think that's a big thing with approach and tone.
They're good kids. I mean, they go to freaking Michigan, so it's like, you know, they're all
smarter than everybody in that house.
Yeah, completely.
Like, this guy's trying to tell us what to do.
They're the least person I'm worried about. I'm most worried about me. That's number one. Because I got a lot of things I got to work through, and the person I worry about least is Colin, so he's fine. So that's how I handle that.
Do you have a inner monologue technique you do when you really feel that rage that goes in, like, you know, you're pissed off and you're trying to calm your emotions down? Other than going through that little checklist you do, is there something else you do to get to that place of
breathing
calm?
technique? Quick breathing technique to try to release the thing, and I recognize that I've got emotions and anger in this, and I try to. You know, and kind of try to breathe and deal with it. The queen is tough because she will come at you and come at you and come
Relentless.
at you. You'll release it. It'll build up. Release it, build up. And she will just keep coming back. And sometimes, yeah, eventually. And I am angry with myself afterwards because sometimes
always, when you snap.
I finally do snap. And it's about after the 5th time I've been kicked in the nuts hard. I'm finally like, fuck this, man.
I always regret when I snap like that. Do you regret? Are there times when you snap and you lay into somebody, you don't feel guilty about it?
Yes.
Okay.
But there, especially if it happens like with Magnolia, she'll push and she'll push and she'll push, and then I'll just like flip out. Yeah, but like sometimes it's warranted that I flip out, but then sometimes it's because I'm tired. Or I have something going on in my life that I'm not able to, you know, fix or sort out.
Do you ever apologize to her after?
I do, yeah. I definitely have. But if she deserved it, then no.
Okay. Do you ever feel guilty if you go off on somebody and they deserved it? Do you still struggle with that?
If they deserved it. No, I always try to think of, you know, because there's a lot of times that people need to have something said to them. And so I always try to think of the right way to do it. I said, you know, what is it I'm trying to get out of this situation? What is it that I want them to do? And there's a lot of different ways to do it. And I think the most basic thing is that people want to yell at somebody. They want to discipline somebody. And I don't think people respond that way. To me, I approach it from the way of like, I want a certain behavior out of them. I want them to do something. What is the most effective way to make that happen? And sometimes it is. Some people respond where it's like, you got to be like, I don't want to be the heavy right now, man. Unfortunately, I got to be a heavy because I've asked you this way, I've asked you that way, I've tried to make this happen, and nothing else is working except for me to come down on you. And I still don't even yell. I still would like to talk in this tone to say, unfortunately, you put me in a situation where I got to back you into a corner. And so, you know, you're going to have to do this or it's going to be unpleasant for you. So that's it. It's matter of fact. It's not even like emotional. It's just like.
But that's a level-headed way of dealing with stuff. That's
and I
emotional.
still work on it. It's what I want to achieve in everything that I do, but I don't always do that. You guys will probably see me out this weekend berating somebody and be like, "Oh, well, I guess that doesn't work."
It's tough when you're in the moment.
It is.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
That's when your emotions are running high, and that's when it's the hardest to stop and process and think before you speak.
Because sometimes you're
it's hard.
Yes, it's hard. It is.
And these kids, they push you.
Sure.
They test you.
They do.
And sometimes it explodes because it's been going on for a while, and it just grates on your soul.
And plus, just the fact of being a human being and being tired or whatever, sometimes you snap at people.
Samantha also asked, do you ever get in trouble with a wife for talking about the lack of sex, the dog issue, general family stuff? No, that's one thing that's awesome about the Queen is she gets what I do, and it doesn't ever faze her. It doesn't bother her. Honestly, it's amazing. I mean, and that's why in a relationship, it's knowing somebody's hot buttons. I know the Queen's hot buttons, and I know what's not. And luckily, all that kind of stuff, like, she just doesn't even care. It's just, water off a duck's back.
That's great.
Yeah,
Helps our
that's
show.
not it. And then there's other stuff that you wouldn't think would be a problem at all that is a monstrous issue. That people are going, why is she so pissed about that? But I'm like, it's a balance. I'm like, the stuff that people think she should be irate and probably justifiably so want to kill me, she could care less. She's like, whatever.
It's so weird. That's how my mom was. You would be shocked at the stuff she wouldn't get mad at, and then the stuff she would really get mad at, you were like, why are you so mad about
Right.
this?
And so when people look at the Queen, they're like going, yeah, everybody has their own hot buttons. And now I very much know her things. And I understand. People are going, really? She get mad about that? I'm like, yeah, really.
Well, you can see things developing like before it even happened, just by a comment or a mood in a crowd.
Yeah.
I know what you mean by that.
can.
If someone says a comment, you're like, oh, God, please don't follow up on that comment.
Got to go, and I know how I need to react to try to minimize the damage. And they don't see it because in most circles, that's not going to piss somebody off. But that's something that for the Queen, she will lose her mind. So I just know, okay, that's no go there.
Are you in tune with Panda that way, where you know something said, you're like, it's probably going to bother Panda?
He's tricky.
Is he?
Yeah, he's tricky. He's tricky to figure out because he's not a guy that just wears his emotions on the outside. Like, you have to kind of really figure out what's going on in his head.
Yeah.
He's tricky.
I think the thing that's good about the Queen, she's tricky, but she's consistent.
Yeah, that's going to help
I
you
pretty
out.
much consistently know now, and it was weird when I first got with her because there's weird shit that pisses her off. Like, you're like, really? That makes you mad?
Well, when you bring your world into another person's world and they've got their own thoughts and the way they were raised, and then when shit finally goes down for the first time, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I didn't know you're mad at something like that.
I remember the first time that we broke up. I think Virginia was part of this. We went to a Poison show together, and I was just started dating the Queen. And I'm like, hey, yeah, meet me at the concert. This would be awesome. We'll go in, have a good time. And she just totally didn't even show up. Remember that? I'm like,
yes.
Remember this girl, Kim? I saw her number. I'm like, delete.
You
deleted
did that?
the number. Yeah. I showed Virginia when I did it. I did the delete. I'm like, deleted because she didn't even show up. We were leaving the concert thing. I'm like, I couldn't even believe she didn't show up.
And you saved a ticket for her. And it was like a whole thing. And we were like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah. And so
what was the issue? That you didn't pick her up?
She was like, yeah. She's like, you invited me to this thing and you want me to come and you wouldn't pick me up and integrate me into the group. You just want me to walk up by myself and I'm supposed to be like, hey, what's going on? She has social anxiety disorder that she's been working on. Didn't get that, didn't understand that. That's a big deal for her.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you're out in a group and you're kind of and she gets that on body language, I got to watch myself. If I get into a conversation and it's a person, I'm in the middle and the Queen to my right, and if I turn my shoulder in and start almost
shut her out,
physically block her out, then she will get pissed because it's like, okay, you just cut her out of the conversation. Like, what am I supposed to do? Because she feels silly.
Gotcha.
And her silly turns into anger. The feeling she has of being silly, she's like, that's really rude. She's like, you may not realize how rude you are. And it took me a while to learn that. Now, still, I even have to catch myself sometimes. I get caught up in a conversation and I'll rotate my shoulder. And that is now physically and to her mentally cut her out and said, you don't matter anymore. And I just cut you out of this deal. And you're just standing there like a fool.
She feels embarrassed when you
She's
do that.
embarrassed,
Yeah.
and her
that
embarrassment
turns to
anger.
Yep.
But you're just not a guy that really pays a lot of attention to
anything,
body language like that and all those.
I get lost. I get caught up in things, and now
you start talking to somebody, and you're just you're zoned into the conversation.
You have a busy job too. When you're out and talking to people,
and you get spun around. You know how you get spun around when one person's tapping you on the shoulder when you're talking to someone else. The next thing you know, you don't know where she is and what's going on.
It's been 30 minutes, and you think it's been 5.
Well, then
you've had 5 beers.
That's just it. If you're at an event and you throw alcohol, if I have 2 beers, I'm very easily. I can't remember jack shit.
Yeah. So that's the thing for me is now now I try to maintain that awareness. It's always kind of in my head saying, okay, where is she? What are you doing with your body? So those are the kind of things, and that's the weird stuff. Yeah, stuff on the radio doesn't piss her off, but something like that, if you ever see me turn my shoulder inwards against my wife, come turn me around.
That's funny. That's
Because you're going to
interesting.
save me. Yeah, because you'll see the look on her face when I
Just
turn that shoulder.
Punch him in the shoulder and move that shoulder back.
Yeah, just be like, will you please include your wife still in this conversation?
I have a family member that suffers from social anxiety, and they got their own set of rules that once you know them, you're like, okay, I get it.
Well, it's
but if you don't know it, you think they're being rude to you.
She has social anxiety, so what I did, I just cut her loose on her own to it's like fend for yourself in a situation you're already highly anxious about. I'm your safety net, and your safety net just got cut out from underneath you, and now you're staying there by yourself, and you're like, I feel awkward and weird already, and I don't want to talk to anybody, and now I'm like, I just want to go.
Yep.
I want to get out of here. I want to escape.
You're a real dick, Ralston.
I am. And
That's when I just go to the bar.
I
And
know
I'm like,
that's-
I'll get a drink and sit by myself
Right.
and just be like,
I was
this is
used to
fucking great.
when I first started dating Kim. I was used to people like you, and I was used to be like, okay, we'll meet back up later. My wife is not like that. It's not like we'll disconnect, and she's actually getting a lot better at that now. You'll notice
I can
she's
tell
doing
she
that
is
now.
for sure. Yeah.
She's gone to a place, and with her new job, that she's had to start doing that, and so I'm less worried about that. But that was the first thing that came up. That was always a hot button issue. So she's facing her anxiety and doing a lot more. She even went on stage at church and talked to which I couldn't believe. Like
Wow.
5-10 years ago, no way.
That's good.
No way
That's
she'd have done
progress.
that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So she's there's not other things I fuck up on, but still, that's a big one. Let me see. I see you using Instagram more, liking it more now that it can be one login. Absolutely. I'm trying to get back to my Instagram. I got a whole year without posting anything on my Kevin Ralston Instagram, and trying to do more of that now that you can just easily seg between, because my number one priority is everything's KVJ, so I do all the social media for that. Virginia, okay, super personal question, BJ question. I just had a guy tell me not to use my hands, but I thought hands with the mouth action was supposed to be the best way. So what's the guy talking about? Is it just a preference some guys have? I'm so confused.
What are you asking
Yeah.
her for? Asking me that question.
It's a preference.
So when you get blowjobs, Jay-Bird,
No, when you get them,
Oh,
you
okay, I'm
want
sorry.
a lot of hands. You
How
want-
does Denny's like it?
Denny's likes a lot of hands. He likes he likes
yeah.
my hamburger hands.
he calls it wringing out the towel.
He likes how clumsy I am with it. I just bat that thing.
balls.
Look, I'm a guy. I love hands. I love throw the kitchen sink at me. The more the merrier. So
Yeah, and you know where to put that kitchen sink, by the way.
it's a preference thing. That dude needs to relax with his BJ's.
But if he told you that, just know that's him.
Yeah.
Every guy's going to be different. And if you are insecure about how you're doing it and you don't think you're doing a good job, that's the time to ask.
yeah.
Yep.
There'll also be nonverbal clues that he will be sending you.
Like what?
I don't know, maybe like a big stain on your face.
Like,
That's a good clue.
I think he's into it. No, like if he's moaning
Little
or
moan.
if he's enjoying himself, you'll be able to tell usually.
if he's like, oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Maybe he won't talk like that though. Oh yeah, I like that. It's like somebody's pervy uncle.
I am a pretty uncle.
Let me see a couple other questions. Jason, you're adorable. Do you ever feel like they're picking on you during the show? That's question one.
My silence says it all. No, you gotta have thick skin for this job, man. You got to. I tell all the interns, I go, if you guys really want to be in radio and on a morning show where what we
Yeah.
do, you have to develop really, really thick skin and not take it too seriously. I know at the end of the day that you guys love me, and I
course.
I rip right back at you guys. So it's,
We all do.
Yeah.
That's what's fun. And I mean, think about like in your circles of friends, that's how friends act to each other.
I think I've
Fun.
got a lot more things to make fun of that are just very open, and I think that I get a lot of material to make fun of. I'm very cool with it.
Are you really that forgetful, like your keys, fish, etc.?
I have pockets of time where I'm very forgetful for the same reason you guys are talking. Shit's on your mind. I don't have kids, but like my phone would be my kid. I'm like, oh, where's my phone at? Holy shit. I will forget stuff when I've got busy stuff going on for sure.
And finally, besides the show stuff, what's your favorite thing to do outside of work?
Me or is that everybody?
Yeah, you tell us.
Oh, gee, I love playing music and jamming music. It's very therapeutic.
Okay.
Playing with Denny's and stuff.
Are you still going outside on your patio and doing that a lot, or doing it inside?
I try to, I go on my patio sometimes. I'll have a beer, be out there, be cozy. I'll be in my boxers naked. Sometimes people come up. There was one time I was dyeing my beard and my hair for Hulk Hogan, and I was in my underwear, shirtless, drinking a beer, playing guitar. My neighbor comes. I was like, "Hey, what you doing in here?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm so fucked right now."
Yeah.
Dude, I don't.
He heard the music. He wanted to come over.
That was not like a Pied Piper thing where I want people to join. No.
Somebody said, I called off work sick last week and I caught the Wendy Williams show and now I'm addicted. It made me recall the time that y'all interviewed her and she kept calling Kevin Tracy.
Yes.
And the great part was I always get people's names right, honey.
I always know the names of the people I'm interviewing. Tracy.
Okay, Tracy.
I forgot how that interview ended after you called her out. Did she argue or just hang up? Would you ever interview her again, or has she gone the way of Rob Schneider? Yeah, I mean, I totally talked to her. I mean, honestly, for us anymore with our show, unless there's really a specific reason to talk to somebody, we just interviews aren't our thing. You know, we just don't really do them.
It's not our strongest suit. I think we're better with silly and wacky.
Well,
and
I don't even think it's what our audience mainly wants to hear.
It was then honestly, other than the music and commercials, the biggest complaint I would always get from people are, I don't like celebrity interviews. I don't think that they're that good. I swear to you, I'm not just saying that.
Because we didn't really ever get any truly celebrities.
Well,
we got like your Wendy Williamses.
Well, what happens sometimes is either I will shut down and not say anything, you'll shut down, then it's just Kevin and the guy talking. I mean, really, it sounds like a different show at that point.
Well, and I think what turned it around for me was the interview that we had with Adam Levine. And, you know, I just started to realize that with a lot of celebrities, they will not open up to you like they will on certain places. They're going to save their biggest, best stories for late night TV or when they're on Howard Stern. And there was something that he had talked about with Howard Stern, and I kind of just even started dancing around the subject a little bit. He's like, "Oh, I'm not going to talk about that."
It kind of like he's pissy about it.
Yeah, real pissy. Meanwhile, he spent 40 minutes with Howard Stern talking about that very thing, going and
it was interesting.
It was. And
it was so behind
after,
the scenes of his band.
After that, it turned me saying, you know, look, it's like Howard Stern built up to what he was and got to that point. And it's not a direction that I wanted to take us. We do other stuff better. And if you want to hear that in-depth celebrity interview, go to Stern, because he's going to have it. And they're going to say more to him and with him. Like, I could ask the exact same questions, have everything the same way.
You did. You tried.
And it's going to be different between them and us.
Well, it's got to be fair, too. They're getting airtime with our audience. What are they giving us other than, you know, I hate when they just come on just to promote something.
And that's what we get.
Bullshit.
We get those tours, and we'll get decent people to want to come on, but it's just they just want to come on to promote their stuff. So what we'll do is, if we're like face-to-face or in person with a celebrity, I think it's more fun to play a game or do something goofy with them on the spot.
If they're cool with it.
Yeah, if they're cool with it. And if they're not, then that's the only thing that we can connect with on celebrities,
now,
really, anymore.
Somebody asked, why do we have comedians in there? And that's really a big, I mean, it's kind of a sales thing, isn't it?
It's a sales thing, and, you know, so we'll do that. Yeah, that's, and, you know, it's not my favorite thing to do that. Sometimes the comedians are funny and they can bring humor to the conversation more so than just a regular celebrity.
Agreed.
So
sometimes they're interesting too, and they have cool stories.
Well, and you know what? They are at a different level in a sense because they're not routinely sitting on the couch of Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel and Howard Stern. And so they will tell some of those stories and they'll have some good stuff to talk about. It's, you know, if we have an A-lister on, which we could get, they're not going to give us an A-list story. They're going to give us a D story.
And you ask him a question, I'm not answering that shit.
Exactly. Like I had with Maroon 5 and Adam Levine. I'm like going, so it's like, what's the point? You know, you can get to it, you can do the same stuff, and you're not going to get the same results.
Look, I like their music, I do, but all those guys in that band are dicks. We met them, and they were dicks in person, too.
My whole thing, too, is if you are a fan of that celebrity, like I love Billy Joel, and I seek out his interviews, so I want something new in an interview. If I'm watching an interview where they're asking the same old bullshit questions, oh, what's your favorite song? You're not really giving anything to your audience at that point.
Yeah.
It's kind of going through the motions.
Somebody texted in and said, do you all listen to Howard? I grew up, I mean, Howard's been a big influence on me, and I loved all the stuff that he's done. There's many things I do, and I admire him for his interviewing. Right now, in my career, that's not something I'm putting a huge focus on just because of the style of radio that we do. Maybe one day I'll get to the point where I'm his age and want to do what he does. I really love the Howard Stern of when I was in New York 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
And I haven't regularly listened to Stern probably in about 4 or 5 years.
I listened to it.
It's just not as good. It's just not.
It's changed a lot. It's not a lot of the TNA and all that stuff. He does a lot more interviews with the celebrity. You're right. A lot of his diehard fans are very angry.
His interviews are great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love, and I listened to the other morning. I listened to a Bon Jovi interview.
Yeah.
And it's just compelling stuff.
Oh, he's great at that.
But
He is
everything
phenomenal.
around it with the cast of dummies that he's got around him, it just do not do anything for me.
People got to understand too. People get older and evolve. I mean, you really want? He's in his 60s.
Still
do you
great.
want? Do you want him having girls riding on the Sibian? And
exactly.
I mean, come
Nah.
on.
He'll be
It's
regarded
past.
as the greatest ever at what we do when it's all said and done. And so no shade at all on him.
No.
Personally, right now, no. I mean, I still would go back and listen to stuff he's done in the past. Mentally, me and for where our show is, I'm more into a younger Stern than where he is now. And the interviews are great. And one day I'll probably go back and listen to a ton of those too.
Just to let everyone know, too, on YouTube, they've got that's how I listen to Stern. I listen to all the classic bits on YouTube. There's so many of his fans that recorded it, and they've got stuff from 1981, 82, when Jackie first got on the show.
Brilliant
you turned
stuff.
me because some of my favorite stuff is stuff that was with Artie, and you turned me on to some stuff that I had never heard before. Artie talking about behind the scenes, juicy details.
There's
Great
new,
stuff.
Artie's making the runs right now where he
Artie's
the
got
rounds.
his own podcast.
He does. He's making He's also just got on an HBO show as well.
He's got a podcast that you pay for and a podcast you get for free. He's got two.
It,
Oh,
it
really?
gets
Wow.
dark
Good.
though. He's right now. He's in the mode of bashing Stern, and I think what he's doing. I think this is all kind of a strategy. I think there's some bitterness because Stern won't.
Stern won't take his calls. There's a new chick apparently who's relatively new in the past 5 years on the scene, and she's cock blocking Artie and will not let Artie get close to Stern.
He's blasting her. He's blasting. In fact, there's another one I'll send you. It's Artie and it's Jackie talking about everything.
Now that's interesting.
But Artie still sounds kind of fucked up though when you hear him. He sounds like
Probably.
he's a little messed up.
Probably. I mean, he goes up and down. When do you see like most times if you have an addict, they relapse?
I just think he's trying to get some noise for his podcast by talking so much shit.
Can you blame him?
Let me see. Dominic also said, when you talk about the show set in Miami, you never mentioned the Golden Girls. And which Golden Girl are you? Being a loyal listener, I've done the math for you.
This is cute.
B. Arthur's character, Dorothy, is Kevin, the level-headed leader. Estelle Getty's character, Sophia, is Denny's, the great storyteller. Rue McClanahan, Blanche, is Virginia, the southern sex goddess. And Betty White Rose is Jason, the lovable dimwit. Well, there you go.
The lovable dumb fuck. Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
I want to be Estelle Getty. She was my favorite.
No, I'm not going to let you.
I want to be. I don't want to be the dumb one.
You want to be the slutty one?
I don't care.
Be Rose.
It doesn't matter at this point.
And Dominic would also like an update on Denny's butt. A couple of months ago, he had to get his butt crack waxed, and although it was painful, he said it felt nice afterwards. How is it now? Has it all grown back? Does it itch? Denny's ass. Let's get into it.
Denny's! How's your butthole?
Denny's, get in here.
Thumbs up.
That's good. It's okay. Now, was that an okay, or was that his butthole?
No, its butthole's way smaller than that.
Oh, it is? Okay, I was going to say, wow. He's got other issues than hair.
How's your butt?
It's all
Remember,
good.
Hole.
Is all the hair come back from the
It's
waxing?
growing back.
Yeah.
I'd
It
imagine,
looks like
yeah.
when you're like 13, you start getting a mustache. It's kind of at that.
Kind of looks
phase
like a
right now.
spider's back.
You have pubescent butthole.
Does it itch?
No, I never went through an itching phase. It was
Good.
very nice. I think if you shave, because I've
Then it
shaved the
itches,
booty,
yeah.
the booty hole, if you will, before. and-
You have.
Yeah, just to try it out.
interesting.
It was really nice, but
It's not easy to do though.
but yeah, one day later it comes back. It starts getting. You can feel it's like sandpaper.
Yeah,
It's
not
terrible.
fun. Huh?
If you're gonna do it, definitely wax it. Way better, way smoother.
And we know a
transition.
girl.
Yeah,
She was really good.
She was good.
Yeah. And
Nothing to compare it to, but.
Thank you for the update on your asshole.
Yeah. I'd imagine another month it'll be back to the way it was.
Yeah.
I might actually do it again. It was actually pretty
We got a
fantastic.
number. We got
that
a
is-
contact
yeah,
number
that is
over
good.
there.
Yeah. All you did was you took like a honey stick and just stuck it up there, kind of rolled
she
it around.
sugared your butt.
Sugar, yeah, I was liking it.
God, who's hungry?
Hello.
We made a king's cake, and that was the frosting.
Yeah. And Jennifer said, Suits, you look really good with that girl intern that we saw you with. She's cute, just saying. Everybody's trying to hook Suits up now.
I think the girl intern that they're talking about is...
She's running KVJ TV right now.
Oh, talking about that intern.
Yeah, I got to go put the camera on her there, Suits.
She's awesome, by the
everybody
way.
can see,
She's
yeah.
a great intern.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
I thought you were talking about the younger intern that is 19. The intern we have right now, she's 23, 22, around there.
Yeah, in that ballpark.
The other intern
22.
is 19. That's what we got right now. Does Suits have his eyes on both?
Which one does he have a better shot at?
Well, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Are they both sitting with each other right now as we're talking about this?
So uncomfortable.
How awkward.
They're both like he's training her on KVJ TV, so they're like arms are touching each other as we're sitting there talking about hooking them up.
Is
yeah.
she single? Thumbs up or down? Single?
Here comes Suits.
She's not.
She's not
Now
single.
she's got to run KVJ TV while we talk about
She's
her.
betrothed.
Yeah.
She got a man?
Yeah.
She got a man?
She does. She is not single.
Bullshit.
Blew it, Suits.
It's not awkward at all, though. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
And it wasn't us. It's
What about the
sorry.
other one? What about
Other
the
one
other
is not single either.
What the hell, Suits?
You
Hey,
got
blame
plenty-
Denny's. He hires them.
Why are you hiring these
Yeah, no,
girls
all right.
that got a man?
You know what? I'll make sure we get the right interns in here.
Yeah.
Got
Suits.
the college group
Single
coming up, so.
meat?
Looks great. We'll get it there. He's slender. He looks awesome. He's almost got salt and pepper hair going on.
I
now.
do have salt and pepper. I've had that since I'm like 13.
Wow.
I'm cutting his hair today.
Looks great. He
or
looks good.
tomorrow.
It's distinguishing.
Today or tomorrow. Whatever. All right.
Whatever's good for you. I just want to get a cup before I go on the cruise. I got those
Upstairs
nice
or
and-
downstairs?
Whatever he needs. We want to make sure my boy is ready
He did
to
do a
go.
good job with the upstairs. I mean,
He did.
And again, if you want to join our non-political protest on Sunday, send us an email, mail@kvjshow.com. And I apologize. I got an email from Chris, and he sent an email saying that he wanted to... Wait, where is... let me see if I can find the original. I think it got... but he said, I want to join the protest because I totally hate DST. And I'm like... Oh, Donald shithead Trump. And I'm like...
That's not what this is
no.
about.
Time out.
We like to
Cool your
react.
jet. I know.
People are texting me
No, hold on.
because they want to come to our pro-Donald protest on
No,
Sunday.
yeah, no,
and
no,
I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
did you hear what we said?
I don't think we could have made it any more clear.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. So I read it. I'm like going, yeah, I hate DST. I'm like, and even it's Donald J. Trump. It's not Donald shithead Trump.
DST.
And I told him, I'm like going, hey, look, our protest is non-political. We'd hate to disappoint. He's like, Kev, DST meaning daylight savings time. So who's the asshole now, Kev?
I love
Look,
it.
it's non-political. Daylight savings time. That's why these abbreviations, man, they're tricky. Just say daylight savings time. I don't know what you mean. So there we go. Yeah, it's non-political. There we go. Daylight savings time. I got it now. All right, sorry.
He got it, but some of my friends did not.
Yeah.
I don't get
It
it.
is. It's non-political.
They're really texting me, asking me if they can come out and be a part of
No.
our
No, again, you will
Trump
not.
No.
support.
If you come out one way or the other, if it's anything political, you are not a part of our thing. You
Nope.
are on your own if you are political, and if you have any profane, dirty sign, you're on your own.
Trying to lower pizza prices here.
We're just trying to have fun.
Yes.
Yes, our stuff is fun. If you're not fun, you're not a part of our group. If you want to be a part of it, mail at kvjshow.com. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.